Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to start this video by apologising. I am really sorry that it has been like 55 days since I last uploaded anything to my channel. And I'm going to be honest with you, I have been suffering with major burnout. It's not just for like my creating, but my work life, my home life, literally everything sort of frazzled me out and I needed to take a break. So I apologise that I've been away for so long. But I am now back and I am ready to share my next video with you. I do apologise that it's not a Christmas video. I didn't have time to make a Christmas video, but I kind of like made this back in early November and it's just sort of been sat there since then. So I hope you enjoy watching this video, and once again I am really sorry that I've been away for so long. As you've probably already gathered from watching the video whilst I was making my apology, I'm using one of those standard sweet jars. I think I bought this one from my local Hobbycraft, and I'm going to create like the mushroom top using some tin foil and use the actual glass base as the house. So just to make the cap of the mushroom, I used a bunch of tin foil, shaped it out into the basic shape of a mushroom. Covered that in my polymer clay, and then I'm going to cover the glass jar, the bottom half of it, in some bacon bond and some more polymer clay. That will be like the basis of this sculpture. I wanted to keep like the scalloped shape of the jar, so I've tried to incorporate that into the house itself. To cut out all of the little windows, I am using a little circular cutter, but you can literally just cut them any shape you like, using a craft knife as well. Where it comes to the bacon bond that's on the glass, you don't really need to worry about that, because once it's baked, it scrapes off the glass really easily, so you can see like straight through it. It won't be a problem later on. Yeah, once I did that, I added in some of the details around the mushroom base, and then I wanted to add like a frill around the mushroom itself. So some mushrooms have like these fancy ballerina skirts. That's what I call them. I'm using some cosplay for that because it will stay like nice and bendy once I finish baking it. I just made like these big long strips and cut out loads of jaggedy edges using a ball stylus. Really easy. And then I just did 2 layers of them because I thought it looked better that way. After making my teeny tiny door, I decided that my mushroom wasn't mushroomy enough, so it needed more mushrooms. I created these tiny little shelf mushrooms around like the door. I will add loads more mushrooms to my mushroom because apparently fairies live in rotting houses. That's what I've come to the conclusion, that fairies live in houses made from rot. Yeah, it's a little uncomfortable when you think about it. But yes, my mushroom needed more mushrooms, so I added mushrooms above the windows, above the doors, different types of mushrooms. Just so that it was mushroomy enough. I'd just like to say that I cut all these leaves out individually by hand. There is probably a much easier way to do it, in the form of having a tiny leaf cutter. So if you have a tiny leaf cutter, I suggest you use that, as opposed to doing it the really long way of cutting out each individual leaf. It does take a long time. And then of course I added more mushrooms, because more mushrooms. I was trying to give the mushroom cap a slightly more fantasy-esque vibe by adding like these teardrop shaped blobs of clay underneath it to give it that nice curvy shape. However, I feel like what I made was some sort of monster. It just needs teeth. If I'd added like a row of teeth in there, I've made a killer mushroom cap instead. So this spike is actually from a dragon that I made quite a while ago. They are like milliput spikes that I had left over. So instead of using them for another dragon, I've decided that they would make very good mushroom stalks. So I just created like a little teardrop shape, a blob of clay, added a little bit of bacon bond, and then jammed the spike in there, and ta-da, you've got a teeny tiny mushroom. I'm going to add said teeny tiny mushrooms to the top of my big mushroom, because more mushrooms on my mushroom. To do that, I needed a slightly thicker bit of clay so that the smaller mushrooms have got something a little bit more sturdy to hold on to. Otherwise, I'd be jamming them into the tin foil because there isn't a massive amount of the sculpey medium. So I just made like these little mossy things for them to sit in. I thought I'd share with you that I bought myself some brand new scissors that I needed scissors to get into. But I ended up using said scissors to create some dragonfly wings. I'm going to cut down some of this cellophane. I've used it in previous projects. I think it's currently my favourite thing to use. And I'm going to make 4 dragonfly wings. To do that, I'm using a little bit of UV resin. I made a lovely dragonfly shaped wing and then went on to add each tiny little flake individually. And what I was hoping for was this beautiful dragonfly wing. What I ended up with was this. Complete mess. However, I cured it. And then I peeled it off of its acrylic sheet until I had 4 equally not dragonfly looking dragonfly wings. Then I used my scissors just to trim them down, and I used the first dragonfly wing as like a template to cut round all of the other dragonfly wings so that they'd stay the same size. Now I'm going to make my dragonfly. To do that, I'm going to have to put some armature wire into it because otherwise the first knock I'm going to break him off. So I added a little bit of, this is steel wire, but aluminium wire, aluminium, depends where you're from, I don't care. Tin wire will do the trick as well. But this is steel wire. I did realise that I'd made my dragonfly a little bit too long, so I ended up chopping off his bottom. I'm just going to point out that I do eventually realise that I've attached the dragonfly's eyes to the wrong side of his head and that his head is not in the right direction. Here it is. This is where I realise. So I did a little bit of twisting and re-smooshing everything back together. Then I used the grip of my sculpting tool to create those lovely dragonfly eye textures. Added a little bit around the eyes just so that it has some sort of eyelids, because I'm not entirely sure if they have eyelids. I don't think, I've never seen a dragonfly blink, so no, they don't have eyelids. Oh my goodness. Then I needed to create voids for the wings because I can't put the UV resin in the oven because that will just melt. So I created the voids for the wings, took the wings back out, and then attached my dragonfly to the mushroom using a tiny bit more of my armature wire. Before I put this into the oven to bake, I need to take the lid off of the glass jar. That's because it's got like this plastic rim around the edge, so that would definitely melt in the oven as well. So I took the lid off and then placed the mushroom cap back onto the mushroom and just stuck it in the oven for its usual baking time. Once my mushroom had completely cooled down, it was on to painting, which I absolutely thoroughly enjoy doing the painting because I feel like that's when the sculpture really comes to life. So I started off with the mushroom cap, just adding like this peachy colour, mushroomy peachy colour as its base. And then I went in and added loads of like different types of washes. I went in with like purple washes, and then I feel like I created like this horrible monster again underneath there. And it doesn't matter how I look at it, it's I don't really know what I'm looking at. Enjoy the painting, guys. I wanted the mushroom cap to be like super bright, so I used like a purple fade down into like this really nice blue. I would also like to pre-warn you that painting around all those bloody mushrooms almost gave me an aneurysm. I wish I hadn't have bacon bonded them in, so that I could have just popped them out and then painted them all individually and then glued them back in later. That would have been the smart move. But no, just let's paint round everything. Advice to you, don't bacon bond the mushrooms in, because then you can glue them back in later after you've painted them. Once I finished painting my dragonfly, I just reattached the resin wings that I'd made previously using a little bit more UV resin, and that was pretty much this project finished. Once again, I do really apologise that I've been away for so long, but I am back now and I will be sculpting again, so please do stick around, and I do apologise that I've been away for so long. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one, guys. See you later. Bye.